Hello, good afternoon. It is 4:30 on the dot, March 18th, 2026. I really don't know what I'm going to call this episode. I just felt moved and compelled to talk about this topic today. I have been on a journey. And I know my journey is, believe it or not, probably just starting. But in the world of content creation and trying to find yourself, in the world of trying to, do I want to be an entrepreneur? What does any of this look like for me? Just in the world of that, trying to figure out what the hell I want to do with my life. And this is coming from lots of schooling. This is coming from, and I think I talked about this before in an earlier episode about just not sticking to something because it's like, all right, let me go back. I'm going to go back a little bit. Have you ever felt like, what the hell is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? You have this feeling inside of you that no matter what you're doing, it doesn't feel settled. I think a lot of that for me just comes from being adopted and constantly seeking certainty and safety in some fashion. And that's probably why after one degree, I was like, nah, I don't want to do this. After getting the second degree, I'm like, I should be probably doing more. And then the third degree, I'm like, actually, I don't want to do this either. So my first degree I got in medical billing and coding as an associate's degree. 3 quarters into the program, I was like, I don't want to do this. But I've never quit anything. Well, let me take that back. I like to see things to the end. So I was like, I'm just going to finish. Never practice a day in the field. Before that, and excuse the noise because I'm right by the road if you hear cars go by. But before that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a nurse. And I went and did a CNA program, certified nursing assistant program. And after doing that program, I did an externship and one day into it, I'm like, yep, don't want to do this. So then I got my bachelor's degree in human services and figured out pretty quickly this is too much like social work. I don't want to be a social worker. So I decided to do marriage and family therapy because a lot of my clients were like, I just love talking to you. I was like, oh, maybe I should be a therapist. So I went and got that. Then, let's see, 4 years into it, I'm like, I don't want to talk about trauma. This shit is too heavy. I don't want to know all these concepts and I just want to be like a coach. I don't want to have to carry all this. So it's like, and let's just say in between all of that, I probably had like 50 million jobs, right? Because every job that I had, I was like, once I mastered what the role was, I was like, okay, now what? Is this what I have to do for the next, what, 10, 15, 20 years? That's not happening. I would drive myself crazy. I just felt like I constantly needed to be challenged. And so I would say right when I was going through a difficult time in my marriage, a lot of things were just shaken up. I didn't know my head from my ass. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was working as a substance abuse counselor and doing Zoom meetings online, and that was fulfilling for a certain time. But then I was like, my brain can do a lot more than just facilitate groups. Like I find the value, but I feel like I'm like deteriorating because then that started to become just very monotonous. Like, and then people weren't engaging. They didn't want to turn their cameras on. Anyway, I say all that to say is like, have you ever just felt like, what the hell am I doing? And so for the past 3 years, I was in and out of like trying to figure out the online space. I was watching YouTube videos like an addict. And I hate using that word, so I don't know why I said that, but just so you can get the concept of like watching YouTube videos like nobody's business. And so I'm on there constantly learning all this. I could do this. I can get into government contracting. And so I started that process. I got my cage code and all the things that you need to do when you're in the United States to work for the be a to do contract work with the government, you have to have an LLC, a business. I did all these things, and that didn't go anywhere because financially, I didn't have the funds, and it just seemed like the contracts just seemed like a lot to figure out. The money was like, wow, I can make a lot of good money doing this. But the bidding and all that stuff, like, I never liked selling, and I felt like I had to sell myself. It's just like not a natural thing for me, so that didn't take off, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna write a book." So I wrote my first book, put it on Amazon, but I never promoted it. Like, I'm like, "Why didn't you promote it?" But again, at the same time, I was going through a lot of chaos in my homes, but I never promoted the book. I wrote another book, never promoted it. It's like I just needed to keep doing stuff. And then it was like things were just really coming to a head in my relationship with my husband and the home, the finances. And so I was doing all kind of things because at this time I had mentally checked out of my job. Sorry, my dog's moving on the couch. I had mentally checked out from my job and I was like, I can't do full time. Oh, and I forgot to say I had a baby at that time. So now I have a 2-year-old. My baby was born in 2022, my second daughter. So I was dealing with a lot, right? So I was like, okay, I have to bring income into the home because I had told my job I didn't want to work full time anymore. It was mentally draining. So I cut down to part time, like seriously part time, but I still needed income in the home. Okay. So something happened and I had to cut it off, but we're still going. So I had to have I had to bring income into the home. So man, I was doing everything from apartment shopping, like mystery shopping work, to working with seniors part time, helping them, to washing people's laundry, like all the side hustle stuff I was doing. Um, and just literally just losing my mind. I got mad at myself because I'm like, Camille, why don't you just commit to something? Just commit. Fast forward, here we are today. I'm going to commit. I started this episode to talk about commitment. That's really what I came on here to talk about because I realized something with myself. I don't commit. Once things seem, like, I don't know, I get in my head with a lot of things. And so I'm making a decision this year to commit. That's why we're on episode 5 with this podcast. And I'm like, just do the things that you naturally love to do. What do you naturally love to do? I naturally love to talk. I'm a talker than a writer. I love to learn. I love to teach. That's Camille. That's who I am. And so that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to commit. I'm committing to the things that are the talents that God blessed me with. And I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want the headache of running a huge business with employee. I don't want that life. I want something simple and that and I say that now because of where I've been in terms of like the lowest part of what's the word I want to use? Just the lowest financial stage I've been in my life. I was able to still make it. I was happy, content, like, oh, it may not look like how I want it to look, but I'm doing it. And guess what? Everything that I thought that I would need, I didn't need it. Everything that I was worried about, no need to worry. God always provided. And so it's like I had to go through that to experience like, okay, you don't need to chase it the way you think you need to chase it. You really just need to stay in your happy place. And in your happy place, more things will flow your way. And I go back in times in my life where that has been true for me. And I know it's been true for you. We sometimes forget it, and a lot of external things can create that fog to where we think we need to have certain things. But ultimately, and I can't speak for everybody, but for most, we don't need it. We may want it, but we certainly don't need it. And so since I've made this commitment, to do the things that are naturally flowing for me, it's become a very easy process. And funny enough, like there'll be like videos now on YouTube that are just speaking to the things that I'm doing that will say things like, just be in flow. Just do the things that you love. Don't care what other people think. Like, it's none of your damn business. Just stay within your lane on your side of the street where you can maintain what you can maintain. I cannot maintain an LLC right now anyway. Trying to run this huge empire of a thing. That's not where I'm at. Not with a 3-year-old, not with me trying to manage my household and, focus on this creative lifestyle now that is bringing me more joy. So initially, I was going to record a video, but then I was like, again, that's going to take more work and more thought process than me just sitting down here with this little mic in my hand and talking. So that's what I'm doing. And it feels good. It feels natural. My body's calm. And I probably said like 50 ons, but I don't care. Like, that's just where I'm at. Before, I was so focused on what it should look like based on what everyone else was doing, how they were producing, creating all of this. And also, what tends to get in the way is these effing analytics that, people tell you, make sure you're looking at your numbers, look at your numbers, look at your numbers. And so by the way, this is like my first attempt at a podcast, but like my fifth attempt at starting a Substack because I was so focused on no one liked my notes. Yeah, no one liked my notes. Um, no one like commented on my videos. None of that. And so that would keep me stuck. Yeah, keep me stuck from doing and showing up as God intended me to. I'm going to wrap up here, but basically just, you know, I wanted to just share this. I just wanted to, it was in my heart just to share and say, if you're like me, trying to figure it out, you know, with all that you've got going on, you're trying to create new experiences in your life, whether it's increasing your finances, improving your health, being a better parent, being a better daughter, friend, spouse, whatever it is, like get committed. I would say make up your mind and just do it. Do it consistently until you've put in enough reps to where you can be like, I did that. I don't think in a lot of the things I've tried, I put in enough reps and I gave up on it because I was like, this shit too hard. Or like I said before, no one's even commenting. Like I used to, I would read the Substack notes and I would see people that would post and be like, I just posted my first post and I already have like 5 subscribers. I'm like, you a lie. How? How? When I posted like 6, 7 posts and I don't get nothing. And, or it's like, I made my whatever. And I'm just like, how are they doing it? How they figured out something that I have not figured out. And because I just had too much going on in my life, I'm like, I can't figure this out. But again, that's back to comparing ourselves, which is the worst thing that we can do, right? It's what I call the 3 C's of cancer: comparison, complaining, criticizing. None of that shit is healthy. And so I'm staying in my lane this time. I'm committing to, and I don't even know if I'm committing to, yes, I am. I'm going to just say it. I'm committing to a year. For the rest of this year, we're just going to post. We're just going to continue to have these honest podcast episodes. I'm just going to continue to show up vulnerable. I'm going to continue to be naked in front of you guys. I'm going to continue to put my business out there. And not for nothing, but because want to show that we're all from the same cloth, different cut type of vibe, and that shared experience help with healing. This is not therapy talk. And I'll just say this. I had a lot of clients and I was a damn good therapist. I'm going to just put it out there. I was a damn good therapist because obviously I don't talk this way to my clients the way that I'm just on here raw, but that's probably what I should have done, honestly, because I feel like more of that needs to happen instead of all this polished shit that we see everywhere and this, AI generated content. Think more. This is why I'm doing this. I just wanted to be honest. I'm moving into a space of just awareness. It blows my mind, some of the things that I'm able to step back and get like a whole perspective around what's happening, and then have different feelings and emotions around it. But I'm just so grateful that I'm stepping into this version of myself, that I've accepted this as who I am. I've accepted all of my challenges, my obstacles, all my wins. And I'm just grateful to be me. I love me. I'm loving me more every day. Less and less am I caring about how it looks to someone else, how it sounds to someone else. And that feels good. So let's commit to doing what makes our heart smile. Let's commit to the things that are in natural flow with our God given talents. All right. So that's it. So if something in this talk, resonated for you, or, if it made you pause or, see yourself a little differently, just stay with me, subscribe. This is my first time having this little plug because I typically don't say anything. I'm like, bye, I love you. But, definitely subscribe. Let's kind of walk this journey together. Let's figure it out together. I definitely don't have all the answers. I'm not looking to you to help me. We can help each other. I think that's the goal of all of this. That whole cliche saying, it takes a village. It does. And I would love to learn how you've done it, how you're moving through, how you're processing. And one thing about me, I love to hear about people's wins. That gets me so pumped up to hear about wins. So, yeah, keep listening, keep following if you love it. Love you.